I was a fisherwoman, and my dad would ask me, "Where are you?" In front of me is Twin Hills, back of me is Hagamaster Island. On my right is Darungok, where the stone lady made a doll. And then on my left side is the Three Hills. And then he would know right away where I was located. And I learned all those names from stories.
My dad was very instrumental in a lot of projects. He was always getting involved. I don't care if you were a young kid playing in Dillingham, he'd get involved in helping you achieve your goals and making life better. And between here, Dillingham, and Togiak, there was 16 communities. An elder over there, he showed me a map of all the villages between here and Togiak, and they were all written out in Yupik, and I didn't recognize any of them. And I think that's what my dad picked up on, is that these elders always talk about these old places, where they came from, who lived there, and said, you know, we got to recognize where our forefathers lived in Bristol Bay. And he came up through BBNC with the plan to find these villages that are no longer there, while elders were still alive, find out what they named them in Yupik, and that's grown to what it is today.
There's two rivers that, like Alaknakik and the main river Nushikak, Ilgayak. Whenever we go with a boat or snow go, our dad says to me that this place's name, and they have significant name, like this place that we're in, they call it Togiak, but it's originally Nazaruluk because of the small creek that's going out. And the name, because of the name Nazaruluk, it means girl, little girl. Long time ago there was this girl that played at the mouth of the river, and she got stuck on the mud. When the tide came, she drowned, and they named it that.
The naming of places comes from and stems from always an incident that occurred, an eyewitness that occurred, and one's personal experience that occurred at that time and moment. And it sticks there, and it's given a name, and it will be there forever.
The vision for this project began in 2003 at the prompting of the late Harvey Samuelson, who was a huge supporter of preserving place names in the region. And then from there, it moved on to doing the actual interviews with the elders, traveling to the communities and sitting down with elders one-on-one sometimes, or in group settings, and having them pinpoint these locations and documenting. And from that, it resulted into a GIS database, and we were able to enter all this place names information into the database, and we collected place names, the type of place name. It can be a landmark, body water, lake, historical site.
We live in Lake Clark area. The original name for Lake Clark is Kesjach Vena, and that means a place to gather.
My home is my favorite place, Lake Clark. Yeah. Owl Bluff. It's my native allotment, and I lived there. We lived there all our lives. Everything where I went, I knew where I was going. Hills, mountain trails, wide ducking trails, and everything. And everywhere, anytime you go somewhere, you know where you came from, Foggy Mountain, everything.
Tana important darluni illini tritinrita kata wurilamta tawam.
Tayo masugatiok simta. Besok kaya kaluting pia kamang huang ko tatsat tay simtni. Amanaso ay ko tsak sisuk. Tangyak silaka. Akam manaso. Aki ibuto na. Kaya kaluting. Nunatamak at hit. Nasa unariskait. Tobat tayo at tobat pinilutong pilata.
If you sit there and you really listen to the elder, they could bring you back. Bring you back to exactly, to where that story happened. It's kind of amazing, actually. I don't know if that kind of storytelling just develops with age or whatnot, but their ability to tell a story and just put you in that time frame is just, it's breathtaking. It's amazing.
I love being at camp with young people because they're going to be leaders someday. They're going to take our place. We wouldn't be around forever to tell these stories.
It's like taking care of our land. If we take care of our land, we'll be alive. And if we take care of our language, we'll keep speaking it because it's important to speak in our language in order to know how we survived as people.
And it's important for people like myself, my father's generation, to teach the young people where they came from and who they really are in their soul.
A lot of the valuable elders disappeared, but I'm so happy that I get to spend some time with them to ask them questions that I did not know of. It makes me proud to at least keep them here with me and then try to pass them on. Even proud of it being recorded, yes.
So we had a consultant develop a mobile app for iPhones and the Android phone, and making all of our public place names more accessible to everyone. People are realizing that they can make change. They're renaming places and realizing, if they can do it outside of Alaska, outside of Bristol Bay, why can't we do it here in our homelands? And so they're realizing that this can be done. And we don't have to stick to the names that are Western names that aren't even correctly named on the maps or pronounced correctly.
It's part of learning about our culture. It's part of learning how to preserve our culture. Our culture is here for us. We as Yupik people need to pass traditions on that were passed on to us by our grandmas, our grandpas, our uncles, our aunties.
Yum huktawam kni inchkoraka alchkorlukulu. That a person who will show love and care enough will admonish one person to pass on love. The utmost importance of our way of life. Kinkuyun is care, love and care for the next person.